folks. Welcome to Survey of Humanities Online. Bear with me, this is the fourth video I've recorded today and my voice is starting to go. I'm really glad you signed up to take Humanities Online this semester. I really love teaching this class because it's about all different forms of art and how to analyze them, how they affect us, why we need them. And I'm a big art geek who loves all that stuff. So I really love teaching this class, and I hope that you will get a lot out of it and have a greater appreciation for all different kinds of art forms and expression by the time this is over. In this video, I just want to do a brief introduction to the main things to get you started. So first I'll say this is a 10-week course, but we have to cover the same amount of material as the 16-week version in 10 weeks. Excuse me, so it is going to move pretty fast. There are several papers you need to write, but they don't require any outside research. They're really just you critiquing something and analyzing something. So they're not research papers where you have to do citations and all of that. They're more, an opinion paper kind of thing. You have a group project that I will assign once add drop is over and we kind of know exactly who's going to be in the class. Then I will assign you groups, and it's going to be a fun project, and we'll talk more about that later. In order to be successful in this class, you really need to log in frequently. Logging in once a week is not going to be enough, especially during the summer because we're moving so fast. You need to keep up with the readings in the text, any videos that I post for you. There will be discussion boards every week, sometimes two, just because we are trying to cover so much material at once. You'll have one or two homework assignments early in the summer, but mostly you have homework the second half of the class. So there's going to be a lot of different things to keep up with, okay? So you need to log in several times a week to do the discussion boards and to do everything else too. Southside policy states that you have to be dropped if you either don't log in or log in but complete no assignments for 2 weeks. So, if you run into problems, just let me know, but don't just disappear for 2 weeks and then wonder why you can't get back in after that. To get started, go through all the areas in the menu. Instructor information, syllabus, schedule, which you should print and keep up with because it's very detailed. The modules, assignments, discussion boards, everything. Get familiar with everything. You will have a module each week that'll tell you what you need to read, what your discussion boards are, what your homework. It'll outline everything you need to do for that week. It'll have learning objectives. Here's what we're trying to learn this week from all this material. So follow through that module and make sure you complete everything in it. But you can get to the assignments, the quizzes and the homework and stuff, the paper descriptions. You can get the discussion board. You can get to those things without having to go through the module as well. So if you've done the discussion posting and now it's time to respond, you don't need to go in through the module to the discussion board. Just go right to the discussion board. If you haven't gotten your book already, you do need to get it, and I didn't even think about having a copy to show you until now, but it's The Art of Being Human. It's kind of beigey with a abstract dancing woman on it. There's a picture of it in the syllabus. They have it in the bookstore, should have it in the bookstore on both main campuses, but you can also get it from Amazon, but it needs to be the 10th edition. I always have somebody every semester who starts answering homework questions, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Because they've got a previous edition, and the questions are different, and I have no idea what they're talking about. And make sure when you go to the bookstore that they don't give you human services. They give you The Art of Being Human. Just make sure they don't give you human services. The schedule clearly states what's due each day. And then you don't have things due every day, but I kind of got it blocked off Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Some weeks you'll just have something on Monday. It's usually just, start reading this or watch this video. It's not something you have to actually turn in. But Wednesdays, Fridays, and Sundays, you'll have things due. Not always all three, but, it'll kind of break down that way. You do need to get to work on the discussion boards this week. You've got a class intro one and then one asking you to explain how you would define art. Make sure, now, this first week, and maybe next week, you could do without the textbook. So if you haven't gotten it yet and it's coming in, and don't just go, well, I can't do the discussion board, I have the book. You can still do it. You could, but make sure, when we get to the later chapters, when the discussion is really referring to something in the book, you need to read that first or it's not going to make any sense. Post your answer to the prompt by Wednesday at midnight. You create a thread answering whatever question I've given. Wednesday at midnight is the deadline for that. And then you go back in and you have until Sunday to read what everybody else posted and do two things. One, respond to at least 2 of your classmates' threads. And 2, respond to anything that has been said to you on your thread. If I or someone else comments on what you posted, you need to respond to that, okay? And it's really important that you follow that post your thread by Wednesday and then go back in the rest of the week. If everybody waits till Saturday or Sunday, you can't really get any discussion going on, and it's kind of just going through the motions. Side note, discussion boards cannot be made up. They have to be when you can post it and other people are going to read it and respond to it. There's no point in doing it all by yourself a week later. So I do drop the lowest quiz, discussion, and homework in case you forget one, in case something happens. But there's no making those things up, okay? There is a rubric with how I grade the discussion boards and the homework and whatever. So just make sure you look at that first too. All right, I think that's enough to get you started. Do not hesitate to ask me any questions once you've gone through the syllabus and all the course materials. I'm happy to help. If you run into problems at any point this semester, all you have to do is let me know. I know online classes can be intimidating, especially if this is your first one or you're not really familiar with Blackboard. I just started a graduate program myself. I'm taking 2 classes this summer, and it's in a different learning management system than Blackboard. And it's not as user-friendly as Blackboard, which is kind of scary. And, the first couple of days, I really was just like, well, where is this? And what is this? And how do I do this? And how do I respond to this discussion? It just getting used to it and figuring out where everything is takes a little bit of time. So do the best you can to figure it out. And any questions you have, just let me know. You just really need to stay on top of things. Follow that schedule. Make sure you get stuff in on time. Plan ahead. And ask me whatever questions you need. And along those lines, I'm happy to do like an online question and answer session later this week. If there's enough interest, and people email me and say, I'd really like to do that, we can meet in the online meeting room in Blackboard, collaborate, and you guys can, verbally, if you've got a microphone, you can actually ask me a question and I can respond to it and go over some things that way if you guys want. If you have interest in that, just shoot me an email and say, yeah, if you schedule one of those, I'd like to do it, and maybe tell me what time frame works for you, kind of thing. All right, well, welcome to class. Just take a deep breath, go through everything, and we'll just go through one step at a time. Module 1 is up and ready for you to get working on, and hopefully I'll be adding a lot more of them as we go, so if you want to start reading ahead and stuff, you can. All right, folks, welcome to class.